What's poppin', everybody? Episode 60 of the Slip and Wave podcast. Got a great episode for you today. My guest this week is friend of the show, my second repeat guest, Aaron Coley. I'll get more into that in a little bit. But he's got a really big fight coming up this Saturday on Showtime against Jamontay Clark, part of a big card of all junior middleweights. Super excited for him. Shout out to him and my man Otis Griffin. Very excited for those guys. So I just want to go through and break down the fights on that card real quick. Obviously, the main event being Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin. Before that, Bryant Perella is going to be fighting a guy named Kevin Salgado Zambrano, who I am not familiar with. I was a little surprised to see Perella on the card, not rematching Tony Harrison, who's going to be fighting Sergio Garcia. I thought it would make sense for Perella and Tony Harrison to do a rematch in that case, particularly since I thought, Perella won when they fought. But in the politics of boxing, that fight would be more advantageous to Perella than to Harrison because Harrison's probably already a bigger name and more established. So, I really like the Harrison and Sergio Garcia fight. I think that, it may not be the most entertaining fight because they're both a little bit more technical type boxers. But I think that it's going to be two good chess players, and I think the winner of that fight is going to be in position for something bigger. Obviously, Garcia giving Fundora, the guy in the main event, a tough fight. The main event being, Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin. This is a great fight. These are two young junior middleweights, kind of right in their prime or even pre-prime. It's a high-risk fight for them both. Ultimately, I feel like Lubin is a guy with a few more layers. He has proven to be a little bit chinny in the past, a little bit hittable, but I think overall he has a much more well-rounded skill set than Fundora, who, despite being 6'6", doesn't always or rarely, if ever, uses that height and reach and length as a part of his game plan. So I think that even though he's a big, strong guy and he's tall and he's long, I think when he doesn't use that, what he's doing is he's pressuring you. And tall pressure is a lot to deal with. It makes him hittable, but he's shown that he can take a pretty good shot, and he's willing to, continue that volume much in the same way as Paul Williams. So this is a very tricky fight. I favor Lubin, but frankly, there's always the possibility that Fundora is able to crowd Lubin, make him uncomfortable, stay long enough that Lubin feels like he doesn't really have anywhere to go. It's a very interesting matchup. We'll see this weekend. And then, of course, we got the man of the hour, my man Aaron Coley, fighting Jamontay Clark. Aside from me being personally invested in this fight a little bit, this is a really good matchup. Jamontay Clark has great experience against top-level opposition. He's beaten Ivan Golub. He's got a draw with Fundora, who's in the main event. Went a good 10 rounds with Jason Rosario. Got stopped in his last fight against Terrell Gaucher. Terrell Gaucher is a tough, top contender. So there's no shame in that. The only question he's going to have to answer is how much does a knockout loss affect the fighter? That's always what you're looking for after a knockout loss and after a layoff. He's also been out of the ring for a little bit over a year himself, and for Aaron, I know he's itching. Both times I've talked to him, I could tell the man is itching for a fight. He's ready to go. And I think he's been on the bench a little longer than he'd like, and he knows what a good opportunity this is. And I think that he's got the well-rounded skills and the IQ to get it done. But it's a great fucking fight. And I definitely encourage everybody to tune in and support my man Aaron and support the whole card. Also this weekend is going to be Ryan Garcia and Emmanuel Tagoe. I talked about this one last week. To me, this is high risk, low reward. You got a top 15, top 20 guy that not that many people know outside of super boxing heads like me. So again, high risk, low reward. It all kind of comes down to, at the end of the day, what exactly is Ryan Garcia's plan? We don't really know. But whatever that plan is, it's going to start this weekend. And I think, a dominant win over this guy, can only be good. A less than stellar performance is not good. The inactivity mixed with, Tagoe's lack of notoriety would definitely hurt his brand, which is why I was making the point on ITR Boxing podcast with Lukey the other day. I was making the point that there was a time in boxing where this was not the kind of fight you wanted to take, because it was a relatively skilled guy, top guy, that isn't known by the public. If you're going to take a high-risk fight, why not have it be against somebody who's also a big name? So in that sense, I kind of respect him taking the fight, where it's like, whether it's scheduling or whatever the reasons are that he can't fight another top lightweight at the moment, he still wants to get in with somebody tough so that people think he's not just getting thrown softballs. You do have to respect that. And I don't think this fight is as simple as it looks. So the last big fight is going to be Golovkin and Murata. I'm just excited to see Golovkin fight again. I think when guys are out of the ring for a long time, there's too much speculation that goes on, particularly when they get a little bit older. And I'm just excited to see him in the ring. I've said multiple times, I think the Golovkin is washed up narrative is very much overplayed, but it's not helped by the fact that he has been relatively inactive in the last 3-4 years. But I'm excited to see him in there. I think if he's the same guy that fought Gamil Zaramata, that he's going to beat Murata pretty easily. I think he could box him like that for 12 rounds. I think if he really wanted to, he could put it on him and knock him out. And that's not to say that Murata is not a tough opponent, because he's a tough opponent. But if Golovkin is a slightly, tamer version of what he's always been, this is the kind of fight that he's always dominated. Other kind of top fringe to contender guys, he's always made it look easy. That's what great fighters do, right? They take pretty good fighters and they make it look easy. Golovkin's been doing that for a long time. So we set that bar super high, where if he's got an off night, everybody's like, oh, he's 38, 39, and he's washed up. I'm not seeing that. We have to remember these guys are not robots. People have bad nights. People have, a lot of things going on that we don't know about. People have personal lives. So that's not to say that you shouldn't be professional and give the best performance you can, regardless of the circumstance. But there's things bigger than boxing. So I'm just making the point that all of that to say, I don't see where the Golovkin is so over the hill thing is coming from. He's fought basically 3 times, I think 2 or 3 times since the second Canelo fight. So what he is he's inactive and 40. We don't know if he's faded. That's what we're going to find out. And obviously if he wins this fight, the third fight with Canelo was signed on, and we'll get to that later down the line. But at the moment, that's got to be the motivating factor, the carrot on the stick that's keeping him juiced up for a fight like this, is being able to get that third fight and in some way separate himself from Canelo. So with that, my guest this week, like I said, is my friend of the show, Aaron Coley. Big fight on this junior middleweight card against Jamontay Clark. Aaron hasn't been able to fight in a long time, so there's been a lot of people looking forward to seeing him. And he looks ready. He looks ready. So I hope you enjoy my second interview with Aaron Coley. Aaron, it's been a minute, bro. How you been? I know you got a big day coming up. How's it been? How's training?
Yeah, man, it's been going good, man. Just trying to lock in these fights, man. It's been the toughest thing for me.
Yeah, I know. Just in case for anybody who doesn't know, Aaron's got a big fight coming up on Showtime April 9th against Jamontay Clark. Tough opponent, bro. I mean, how's prep been overall? And I guess also explain to everybody where you've been. Like we haven't seen you since July of 2020.
So like, man, really, man, it's just really been no days off, man. I really don't worry about the opponents no more. I mean, I know they be tough. I mean, that's every opponent, man. Everybody coming there ready to fight. So, man, it's just all just displaying my skills, my skill set, and just shining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. What do you think of him as an opponent? Is there anything that you're looking out for?
Well, I just see that he's tall. I'm figuring, well, he like to fight inside a lot, but I'm figuring he gonna try to box, being that he been tapped a few times. Chin been tapped, so I'm kind of seeing that he gonna come out there and try to take it slow.
Right. And I think there's been a couple of fights of his that I've seen where he does try to box from the outside.
Yeah.
How do you feel as far as the inactivity for you? Because that can kind of go both ways, where sometimes it's good if you got the rest and you're staying in the gym. Sometimes it's not so good. How are you feeling with it?
I mean, of course, with activity, man, comes sharpness. You get even. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to get sharp is activity. I mean, the training is there. The training, you got to train to get sharp active. You know what I'm saying? But the actual fight is where you really get sharp at and you actually gain your morale. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, man, I've been in it for so long and I've been training with, you know what I'm saying, all the young bulls, everybody that's anxious to, you know what I'm saying, to have something to prove. So it's like I've been in fights all camp. You know what I'm saying? I got all youngsters around me they like, man, I'm sparring Aaron. They giving it all they got. You know what I'm saying?
So you're getting everybody's fucking A game in the gym too.
Yeah, I'm getting A game, and then I'm coming in there already off my second workout or something. So they like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pushing myself on the daily.
That's awesome, bro. I mean, if you look at this guy, right, he's got a decent amount of experience. He's got a draw with Fundora, who's going to be in the main event. Obviously, like you said, he got a little touched up his last fight. That's boxing. That can happen. Are you looking at this as like, you know, this is any other fight? Or are you like, nah, this is a big deal?
It's a big fight for me just because I've been out for so long, and it's like coming up off my last performance, losing that split. So it's like, with me, it's like, all right, this is a big fight. It's kind of like that's what make it a make or break fight for me. I can't come up off what I'm going to do off of 2 L's. You know what I'm saying? So I got to come get mine. You know what I'm saying? This is my opportunity he been on PBC, he been on Showtime. This is my opportunity to step up and get my fight deals. You know what I'm saying? Where my 4-5 fight deal at? You know what I'm saying? Because I get in there with anybody at 154. Any. It don't matter what it is, with a long layoff. Because I train.
Right, exactly. And so, I mean, that's a good mentality to have, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, you're having wars every day in the gym. So you're getting yourself as prepped as you can be. You know, at the end of the day, right, this whole card that you're on, it's all guys from your weight class for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what that's what really that I really got to showcase there. That's like, yeah, I can get him. Yeah, give me him. You know what I'm saying? Because I like that look. Because then I get to see one person. Oh yeah, oh, man, let me run him in. If that's that, you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be cool on TV, but when you really get to see him in person and get to see get to see the aura of the man, and then see what he's doing up in there, you like, oh okay, yeah, I run him.
Right. And I mean, if you look at this card, right, the main event is Lubin and Fundora. You got Tony Harrison and Sergio Garcia. Bryant Perella is fighting. I can't remember the guy's name, but Bryant Perella is going to be on the card too. So it's 4 nice junior middleweight fights, and you're fighting a guy that's got a draw with a guy that's in the main event. You know what I'm saying? So if you take this guy out, you really put it on him. You know, you're in that conversation with those guys.
Easy, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be in position. I ain't been in position for so long. Like I said the last time, man, I've been ready to come up off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Warmed up, ready to go.
Yeah, bro, and I could see it too. I could see from the last time I saw you. You got you're in war mode now.
Yeah,
I could see the last time I saw you. You're a little more laid back, you know. But now I could see you got camp vibes.
Yeah, it's lit, man. I've been going.
So I've always wanted to ask a fighter this though, but what's gonna be your walkout song for this one? Because you're gonna be on cable television, bro.
Yeah, I'm coming out to the Mac, man. We keeping it all back, Mac Drake, man. I got to come out to that Mac.
I love it, bro. I love it. What I was also going to ask you, bro, is so, you know, we were talking about Jamontay's tall. He likes to fight from the outside for the most part. Sometimes he fights on the inside. But where do you feel like your edge is over him?
Yeah, my jab better than his too, though. We're just working that double jab. You know what I'm saying? Staying low, keeping hands up. He don't keep his hands up good neither. So that's one thing that I seen in him. He lean, even though he tall, he still lean on a lot of his punches. So it ain't like nothing. It ain't something he can change overnight. He been doing it, and you know what I'm saying? As soon as you get into that fight, you're gonna go right back into your old habits.
Right. And I mean, that's kind of a little bit what happened in his last fight, right? I mean, it was just sort of like got caught at a bad moment, chin up in the air, and that's really all it takes.
Yeah, real talk.
And to be fair too, he's not gonna find you in that position too many times.
Yeah, no. I'll be down. I'll stay low. I keep my hands up. I keep the sweet spots covered up.
Yeah. So obviously we're basically in fight week, right? What's your mentality right now? How you feeling?
Man, just crazy, man. Weight cut easy, everything solid, man. I'm just ready to go hard, man. It's been a long time, man, just to showcase, you know what I'm saying, my skills just in the middleweight division, because, like, I don't feel like I ever got which it take time, but I feel like I never got the chance to really just, you know what I'm saying, stay busy and consistent to where people can see me and be like, man, he really got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this time I'm ready to really put it all out, lay it all out there.
Yeah, bro. This is a big one, man. I'm excited for you. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited that I've been able to now. You're only my second repeat guest, bro. You're only my second repeat guest, and I'm talking to you before your fucking Showtime fight, bro.
I appreciate you putting it down for me, man, and hollering at me. You know what I'm saying? Getting me out there a little bit more, man. We gonna come up together with this.
Hell yeah, bro. That's what I love to hear. I've been dying to ask you about this too, because it's unrelated to your fight, but it's in your weight class. Did you get to watch Tim Tszyu against Terrell Gaucher?
I did.
What do you think of Tim?
He's strong. He looks strong. He must really be hitting hard because he ain't using no jab. He ain't using, you know what I'm saying? He must really got some crack, but it take more than that once you get somebody that ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which did, like you seen at the beginning of that fight, he got caught. You know what I'm saying? And by him going down, that show you, hey, his chin he got up, but his chin may be a little, you know what I'm saying, the right person checking. So he good, but he wasn't using the jab or nothing. So he gonna have problems once he really get up there, unless that's something that they seen in what's the name where they just like, man, walk him down. But the lack of jabs is gonna get him outboxed.
Right. That's an interesting. I actually thought that maybe Terrell would be able to work off of that a little bit, but I mean, as much as he's not jabbing, I think his foot pressure does make it tricky to get away from him.
Yeah, but what's the name working the high guard, so he ain't really moving effectively. I can 100%. If your hands is up by your temples, you're not moving your feet effectively how you supposed to move them with your footwork. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
If you bring your hands down just a little bit, it'll help you. You know what I'm saying? Move around a little bit more. He wasn't really trying to move around. He was just in there.
So you think the style is just a little stiff to be able to negate some of the foot pressure?
Yeah, he wasn't even slipping nor dipping. He probably slipped one or two punches, but most of the time he was catching punches. And you can't do that with no power puncher. You can't sit there catching punches on your glove. I don't give a damn how you think you blocking it. Right. That same happened with Steve Gerrard and Joe Smith. I thought Steve Gerrard nasty. He was one of the nastiest amateurs. But at the same time, man, you ain't got no headgear on. You that high guard with a real power puncher in the pros, you can't have no high guard up thinking you finna work with him and be in there back and forth. No, it's not.
Well, that's right. Because even if it's not scoring, it's gonna tire you out over the long haul. And you could see in that fight too, it was like he wasn't even necessarily catching and shooting. It was just catching. And like you said, against a guy that hits that hard in the pros, it's
trading punch. It was kind of like he was trading, like saying, especially after he dropped him, he like, yeah, I'm gonna catch him again. But you got to really box somebody like that.
Right. That's a good point. So you think somebody with maybe a little bit more of a slicker style, a little more movement, a little more layers could give Zoo problems.
Yeah.
So who do you see, you know, considering there's like 6 actual contenders from your weight class on this card, who do you feel like outside of, I mean, obviously there's Charlo and Castano, but who do you feel like is the sleeper? Who's the biggest challenge?
I don't know. I like Tony Harrison's style. Like people like that motherfucker can box, dude. Even all the fights he lost, he was winning them fights.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He really got a little skill. He got skills. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I be watching him, I be smiling when I watch Cuz, because he be really pulling moves sometimes. So like he like the real X factor of the thing with that middleweight division, because it ain't no telling. He come out, he do some of the greatest things, but then he get caught at the end though. I don't know what it is with about round 10, 8, 9 around there. So I don't know if he get lethargic or what, but he be fading around there.
I was talking about that with Lukey the other day. You think it's like more mental or physical? You think it's a conditioning thing, or you think it's just like he can't finish the...
Because I mean, by somebody, like, that mean you weaken. You know what I'm saying? If somebody, so it's something to do with strength at the end. Like, it's endurance. Like, it's the endurance of him or something where, like, it's always like, because he be, at the beginning, he ain't got no problem with him. If that was the case, he'd be getting knocked out early. You know what I'm saying? He be getting hit, but it's just late. He always seemed like he fade or get a little, when he get tired, he get extra weak.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to it. Did you get to see Miguel Berchelt and Nakathila?
I seen some highlights on it.
What do you take from that fight? Because that was very weird to see. Berchelt used to be such an active guy, and then after the Valdez fight, it's just, I don't know. It seems like he's not the same guy.
But Pete, though, you got to think about before all these other fights, man, the promoter ain't doing nothing but getting you the right fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time when you start getting these guys that ain't the right fights for you. And then you start seeing like the flaws in their game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like at the beginning of a lot of people's career, they getting fights that's more pertain to them. You know what I'm saying? To where later in your career, you got what's coming to you. The top 10, the top 5. You know what I'm saying? You can't go under that. So now you fighting the best and you ain't getting that hand-picked work. And didn't dude just come off something good?
Nakatila?
Yeah.
No, I think as far as I can remember, the last time I saw him was against Shakur.
Yeah, and Shakur had problems with dude. That was the one where they was talking about they was talking about Shakur didn't look that good.
He basically won every round, but no, he didn't look great. And which was why it's like, you know, it's tough to make a judgment about Nakatila based on how you look against Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, because you come on him, Shakur Stevenson, young, active, he boxing and he real sharp to where you come out of something there like that. Then you come back and you back in camp and then so you was in camp before that. Bang. Then you fought. Then you come back, you get a little rest, then you got a whole camp, then you fight again. He active now. You got to think about when you get somebody that you don't usually see active, they going to be even better. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you think it has more to do with it was just a bad style matchup. Nakatila was the wrong guy at the wrong time.
Easy. And he can't hand pick no more.
Right.
Because he at championship level.
I think there's some truth to that. I just thought his legs looked so bad. And usually he's so active. You know what I mean? Like he just throws so many punches and it didn't seem like he could react to anything.
Yeah. It's because dude, it was the man in front of him. Dude was putting all kind of shit to him. He was fainting too. He was doing a lot of things to him. You know what I'm saying? Somebody putting them moves on you. You gonna look out of sync. You ain't gonna look in rhythm because he never had rhythm anyway. He always kind of came in when I watched Burchell. You know what I'm saying? He always really just came into you. He was a little bit bigger than everybody. And like he didn't look like that with dude. He wasn't bigger and dude offsetting rhythm and everything. So your timing is off and everything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it would have been a tricky fight for him at any time in his career because it's not the same, you know, that Mexican style come forward. I'm going to meet you in the middle of the ring. We're going to slug it out. You know, Nakatila wasn't giving that to him.
Yeah.
Just wasn't giving him that opportunity. Well, shit, bro. This is a big one. Like I said, man, I'm fucking hype as shit. I really appreciate you coming on, chopping it up with me for a little bit. Yeah. And anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to say?
Oh, mind you, this is my first one in Vegas too. I forgot to say, so I really got to act up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I ain't never fought in Vegas. I've been all over the world. I ain't got it in Vegas, man. And shit, far as shouting out everybody, shout out everybody that supported me, man, through all these years, man, of just ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? All my fans that just, man, when you fight, man, I'm telling them I'm fighting. They like, man, just still holding it down for me, man. I can really appreciate that, man.
Well, we're all pulling for you. We're all hype for the end of the inactivity, and I'm pulling for you, man. I hope you get this one.
Most def. I'm a shine.
Hell yeah. And let's get you on after the W, all right?
Yep, most definitely.
All right, my bro.
Night if you want to, like this. Where you at? Why? Where
Hell
you
yeah.
at? Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Aaron, we'll talk soon, my brother, all right?
All right, man.
Good seeing you, man.
All right.